Hi, I'm Professor Sandra Schmidt. I'm a professor here at Teachers College and one of the founders of the Global Competency Certificate Program. And you're watching this video because you are hopefully enrolled in the course called Global Systems. Global Systems is one of the Think classes here as part of the GCC. And Think classes are really designed to help us think about the ways in which the world is organized globally that will really challenge how we investigate the rest of the courses here in the program. So in thinking, I want to kind of think about this cup of coffee I've been drinking while I was making this video. In this cup of coffee from Starbucks, we can think about this as both an example of kind of reflective of the global systems. The fact that I can go to Starbucks and buy this coffee, likely from somewhere else in the world, is because of the global systems. And it's also important to think about the way in which I make the decision to consume coffee from afar or to consume products from afar that necessitate the global interaction or the interaction of places, entities, people around the world. And that's what this course is really designed to study. Although my introduction might make you think it's one about commodities or economics, it's really a much bigger course that thinks about the theories behind the way people envision or talk about the relationships of the world, how places are intertwined, how they're brought together, how they're separated, and how people respond to that. This course then is somewhat about commodities. Of course, we'll talk about commodities, but it's not just commodities that are intertwined in this global system. So one of the things you'll see in the course description is a lot of talk about ripples, the interplay of how decisions, how knowledge, how the organization of labor, how many other kind of local entities, kind of local everyday processes are affected, surrounded, and participate in a world system around us. And more importantly, I think the more important question perhaps to think about is how are the power dynamics? What are the relationships between these places that organize the world in a particular way? And we really want to take in this course and unpack and think and look at those that we call systems, their relationships and the positions of power therein. So as you watch this video and you begin thinking about what to do with the class, I want you to think about a couple of questions I want you to keep in mind as you begin the class, as you move through the class. One thing is to think about is where do the hubs arise? Who is in control of identifying kind of where the processes of power, of knowledge originate from in these world systems? But importantly with that, we want to think about what are the real local impacts? How important is the global system and how important are local entities? So I want you to watch that relationship between how people in their localities speak back to those kind of larger global systems. And quite importantly, I want you to think about the ways in which areas we traditionally call underdeveloped or undeveloped or even developing. Do they have a play? Do they have a role? Do they ever cause ripples? Or are they simply the products of ripples that emerge from these hubs? I also want you to think about the challenges that you might offer. How do the experiences you've had, how do the knowledges you bring speak back to, speak against, speak with the experiences, the readings, and the theories in this class? So use those to help organize for you the thinking about world systems as we move forward in this class. So the next thing to think about is how is this course organized? We have these goals you'll see in the syllabus. We have these questions I've just posed in this welcome video. And what do we do then to get at those questions? Well, there's essentially 4 things we'll do in each unit of study. The first one is you'll be assigned some readings. These readings really get at the basic theories and the major players intellectually who are shaping what we're talking about in that unit. The second thing then is a mapping exercise. We'll take the ideas from the readings or other activities you're given and map them using Google Earth or Google Maps engine, with the goal to be, can you visually represent the ideas that we're discussing in class and the ideas that you're researching about particular systems, commodities, knowledge, labor, etc. The third thing then is discussion forums where you participate with your classmates in a conversation online. And these are really important spaces for you to think about and challenge each other and help you together understand the readings and synthesize the data in the maps. Finally, we'll have a synchronous session in each one, which is an opportunity for me to answer questions that are confusing, you are still lingering, that you haven't yet synthesized together, but also for us to try out new activities and new ways of engaging with the maps, the data you've been collecting, different processes. So those are the outlines of each unit that each one contains. And finally, you'll notice that there's a lot of gamification built into this. We're playing around with a little bit of gamification, challenging what it is we do with online learning. And so you'll see a lot of badges that will show what you've achieved, what you've learned, and opportunities for you to demonstrate these things by collecting badges along the way. Finally, let's talk expectations. A couple of things you should know about me as an instructor. First of all, I think we're all learners, and I look forward to learning with you. This is my first time through this class, and I look forward to kind of thinking about the capacities we have in this online forum. Secondly, one of my goals is to really challenge each of us to see the world differently, to kind of take what was familiar in front of us and to really rethink what we think we already know. With that comes both the ways we think critically as well as what engaging critical thinking. And finally, I really value questioning. I want you to bring questions, to ask questions of yourself in the class. Some things that I then expect of you: I expect you to be thoughtful. I expect your work to show your analysis and to raise new questions from your understanding. I expect you to reach out. If you're confused, you're struggling with an assignment, I expect you to reach out and get feedback or get help. I expect you to give feedback. If the course isn't going well or you need help with something or better explanations, give me feedback on the course that I can adjust to those things. I'm available via email at all times if you want to reach out to me, and I'll also be available to schedule online office hours before and after each synchronous session, and we can talk further about setting up additional meetings if you communicate with me online. I look forward to working with you in this class and learning together. Enjoy the course.